have an amazing story to share. I was incapacitated for 18 months. I used a wheelchair and 2 canes. I was on 8 different medications, but with time, trials, and errors, I was able to get off all medications, change my diet, and have an improved quality of life. Please enjoy my journey from setbacks to strengths.
My name is Alice Smith Brown. I live here in Brownstown Township, Michigan, and today's video is going to be about overcoming challenges. I believe the word is, and bear with me, I took my glasses off because I always get a glare, but it's basically my journey on turning setbacks into strengths. So that's going to be the theme of this video, turning a setback. If you can see, a few short years ago, I was incapacitated for a total of 18 months. I used to not be able to stand for more than 10 minutes. I couldn't sit for more than 10 minutes. And I definitely couldn't cook for no more than 10 minutes. So the microwave became the meal of choice for my son. Throwing something in the microwave 10 minutes, and to this day he hates baked potatoes with all the topping because that's all I could do back then. But what happened back in the 90s, I used to be a bus driver back in the day. I used to live in a townhouse with the stairs. You got 6 steps here, and you have a landing, and you have another set of stairs. I had my bookcase with the alarm clock on it. So the alarm clock went off, and it startled me for some reason. So I kind of ran so that I could cut the alarm clock off. And what happened is, as I was running to catch the alarm clock, to turn it off, I fell. I hit the first step, went airborne, boom, landed on my back. And when I landed on my back, right around, I guess, in the lower vertebrae, I misaligned 6 vertebrae in the process. That's how I hurt my back. And because of that, I've had pain all the time through the years. It was manageable, bearable when I was younger, but as I got older, got heavier, the pain kind of returned in the mid-2006, somewhere around in there. One day I was driving, and I had a 5-speed stick shift, and my legs were feeling like something was wrong. They was going to give out on me. So what I did is I put it in neutral, came up at the next exit, I stopped, let it come to a coast. I stopped, called my husband, told him, please come pick me up, something's wrong. So when he came to pick me up, took me to the hospital, long story short on it, they kind of figured it was the disc in my back. So my disc L3, 4, and 5 was giving me some problems. It was keeping my legs from where it would buckle. Sometimes I could be walking and legs just give out on me. So because of those issues, I was really starting to have some problems. And I know I'm bouncing all over the place because it's like, this is kind of new for me to be in front of the camera telling my story. But I had pointed to the wheelchair because for 18 months, I had to be pushed in here because I was going to the Ann Arbor Spinal Clinic to have my spine decompressed because I was afraid of surgery. At the time they wanted to do surgery, I would hear the horror stories about people that had back surgery, so I kind of was nervous and kind of scared about having it. So I didn't have it. I found a non-invasive way to be able to address my spinal problem. But in the process, I had to go 4 days a week, Monday through Thursday. It was a 2-hour process. I had to be on ice for about 15 minutes during that process. And then when I come home, I had to lay down for 6 hours a day. So that was no quality of life. I had absolutely no quality of life for 18 months. In the process, I've had like the back brace. It's got the ice in it, to keep my back so it wouldn't hurt so much. During the day sometime when I would have to lay down, I had one of these, it's a back brace as well, but this one decompresses the spine, where it's kind of like traction, and you kind of pump it up so that the back expands and kind of takes the pressure off of my spine. I still have my cane. This is the cane that I use when I'm traveling here, but it folds up in my bag. So I need this when I'm getting in and out of the car. I need it for the stairs when I'm going up and down the stairs, as well as this here, which is a TENS, T-E-N-S, which kind of is like electrical stimulation. If I can get this open, just to show you, sometimes just to go somewhere and sit, if I'm going to a concert or something, this is like a portable TENS that I used to keep here. It has the little electrodes on the back, and it kind of just gives you the electrical stimulation, so that way I wouldn't feel pain. In addition to that, I was on 8 different medications. I don't remember all the name of them now, but I do know I was on Valiums, Darvocets, Percocets. I used to have to take Prilosec for my stomach because I've had ulcers in the past, and a lot of that medication get in there, hurt my stomach, or I was nauseous. So I had to take a pill for the nauseousness, to take the pill for the pain, and the list goes on and on and on of the things I used to take. And I just was so like, something's not right, that I got to keep taking this medicine. It's making me lethargic. So when you like that, it's nothing you really can do, nothing at all. When you're experiencing pain 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. If you can imagine a toothache, your worst toothache that you have, imagine that pain leveled by 10 in your backside. That's what I was experiencing on a daily basis, and I couldn't do anything. It was difficult being myself, because I've always been a happy camper, but when you're sick and you're hurting, can't be too happy. You know, you can change your mindset to a degree, but you still got pain. And so that's how I lived for 18 months. I just want to share the story that what turned it all around. So I'm telling you about my journey, where I came from, and I know I've missed some steps in between, but it's okay. What made the journey turn around for me is, I want to say in about 2007, 2008, I thought I was having a heart attack. I was having extreme pain in my chest, my back. It just looked like I was just having radiating pain. At the time, my husband was working second shift, so he was downstairs asleep. I was upstairs, and I was trying to get his attention, but because I could hardly talk, I was like, I gotta get his attention. I thought I was gonna have to throw myself down the stairs to get his attention. I was like, no, that ain't gonna make sense to do that. So I found something to throw down the stairs to make a loud enough noise for him to wake up, to say, hey, what's going on? So that's when I told him, hey, I think something's wrong, I need to go to the hospital. So I went to the hospital, and as I was in emergency, to the right of me there was somebody moaning and groaning like, oh, pain. Same on the other side, screaming, moaning, groaning, pain. And I'm like, okay, what's going on? So after, the test that they ran, they kind of said, well, we think your kidneys are shutting down. That's what they told me. And I'm thinking, kidneys? But it made me think of all the medication I was taking, all of those drugs I was on, 8 narcotics. That's a lot of drugs to function through a day. So at that very moment, I got in prayer, because I was like, I know as we live, we're going to die of something. But I made a decision at that time, I ain't going out like that. I was like, nope, something's got to give. So what happened is, I remember a book that my mother had in her basement. I didn't know who the author was, but I knew the color of the book. It was a red and white book, and it was entitled Acid Alkaline. I asked my mother, I called her up, I said, Mom, can you get that book, bring it to the hospital? So she did. I read that book the same very day that I was in there. I read it because that was the book that turned my life around. It turned around because as I was reading, I was learning about the word acid foods, acid forming foods. For me, with the back issues that I had, acid food is what was causing me to hurt very, very bad. I love me some honey buns. I love me some macadamia nut cookies. I love me it was some popcorn. It had like 4 or 5 different butters, where it was the mega butter, but that was the best popcorn. So I lived on junk food. And even though I'm a vegetarian, I've been an ovo-lacto vegetarian for over 30 years, I was a bad eating vegetarian. So in the process, I got off all the junk food. I started learning about raw foods. So I did a 30-day raw where I didn't eat nothing cooked for 30 days. After the 3rd day, I was able to bend down and pick things up. Whereas before, if something fell, I had to call someone to come get it because I couldn't bend. If I got on the floor, that's where I stayed because I wouldn't be able to get up. So in that process of learning and reading and dissecting that book on acid, I changed and revamped my whole diet. And because of revamping my whole diet, I slowly weaned myself off of all my medication. So today, years later, I ain't on no medication whatsoever. Now, I do take herbs, the herbs there to keep me going, but green drinks is my drink of choice every morning. That's my breakfast. And for lunch, I pretty much do salads, whether it's cabbage salad, a regular salad, a ward-off salad, don't matter, long as it's something raw. And then for dinner, I might have a veggie patty and another salad or something. But for the most part, just changing my diet for that time helped me to have a better quality of life. Because when you're bedridden, it's nothing you can do but really pray and read. And that's all I had during that time, was to be able to pray and to be able to read, to be able to study, to be able to work on personal development. And the 18 months, that's what I did. So even though it was an adversity, it had value. The value is that I learned how to eat right. I learned how to exercise. When I first started walking, all I could do was walk 5 minutes one direction, 5 minutes back. That was it. And I was pushing it to do that. But now today, years later, I literally can walk an hour now. And I'm not power walking. I'm just a slow turtle-paced walk. And I enjoy the benefits of walking. Once a week, my mother and I, we would do 2 hours. We would walk 1 hour one way, 1 hour back. Now, I haven't done that in a minute, but it doesn't matter how long it's been that I walk. I still can keep up with that hour pace of walking. There was a time where I wanted to have a bicycle. When you can't do things anymore, little bitty things, it really make a difference. And the little things like riding a bike. Okay, no, I can't ride a 2-wheel, bike. My bike is a 3-wheel, the granny bike, the great granny bike, where it's got the big wheel and the 2 big wheels in the back. At one point, I could even get my leg over enough to get on the bike. But now I can ride my bike, and I feel like that's the best investment I could have ever done, was invested in a 3-wheel granny bike. So that way I can feel like, hey, I can still do some things. I can still feel like I'm exercising. And I do that all the time in the summer months up until it gets too cold to ride the bike. But all in all, I just want to say I appreciate the turning point in my life to be able to now, years later, no, my back ain't healed. I actually got more discs jacked up now than I had, 15, 20 years ago. Now from C3 down to T1 and then L5 down to S1, jacked up. But no matter how bad it is, my mindset, my positive attitude, my positive spirit is going to just keep me going day by day. So to look at me, you'll never know I had these issues. You'll never know it, but it's all in my mind. My mindset now is great. I take one day at a time with it. When I have a bad day, I know how to lay down. I used to have a problem with accepting that I can't do what I used to do. But now I accept that, hey, if I can't do it, see ya, bye-bye. I'm not going to worry about keeping up with you. My mother is 76 years old. I call her Go-Go Bird, is her nickname, because she got the energy, the stamina, and all of that stuff. And a lot of times I can't keep up with her. And she's 76 years, she's 20 years older than me. I can't keep up with her. But I admire that. And a lot of times she'll say, well, ain't nothing wrong with my back. So I get tickled and I just accept when I can't do something. I just sit down. I sit it out and I don't worry about it. I just do what I can. So that's a little bit about me. I hope people can relate to what I'm saying when it comes to back issues and about just changing your diet, changing your mindset, changing all those things that can help you to just feel good about life, feel good about yourself, feel good about your situation, whether it's a positive situation or a bad, negative situation. It doesn't matter where you come from. It's where you're going to go. So when you think about your mindset, change it, think positively, and thinking positive really helps you to ease through whatever problems or challenges that you're going through. So this is Alice Smith Brown coming to you live from Brownstown Township, Michigan. You guys have a fabulous, fantastic rest of the day. See ya!
To learn more about my journey from setback to strength, please feel free to comment, connect, or share at www.askakaybe.com. That's ASKAKAYBE.com.